For nearly 18 years, Jesus simply disappears. The Gospels tell us about his miraculous birth. They tell us about his childhood, and they describe the beginning of his public ministry at around the age of 30. But between the ages of 12 and 30, there is almost complete silence. Where was Jesus during these missing years? What was he doing? And why do the earliest Christian sources tell us so little about this period of his life? For nearly 2,000 years, these questions have fascinated historians, theologians, and millions of curious people around the world. Today, we'll separate historical evidence from popular legends and explore what we actually know about one of history's greatest mysteries. Jesus of Nazareth is one of the most influential people in human history. His life changed the course of civilizations, inspired billions of believers, and shaped cultures across the world. Yet one of the longest periods of his life remains largely undocumented. The New Testament describes his birth in Bethlehem, his family's journey to Egypt, and their return to Nazareth. It also records one remarkable event when Jesus was 12 years old, speaking with the teachers in the Temple of Jerusalem. After that, the story suddenly jumps ahead nearly 18 years. When Jesus appears again, he is about 30 years old, arriving at the Jordan River to be baptized by John the Baptist before beginning his public ministry. So what happened during those missing years? To answer that question, we first need to examine what our earliest sources actually tell us. The earliest accounts of Jesus' life are found in the four Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Surprisingly, none of them describe his daily life between childhood and adulthood. For many modern readers, this silence seems unusual, but for historians, it is not. Ancient biographies were very different from modern biographies. Their purpose was not to record every year of a person's life. Instead, they focused on the events the authors believed were most important. In the case of Jesus, the Gospel writers were primarily interested in his teachings, his miracles, his death, and his resurrection. His ordinary years before his public ministry may simply have been considered less significant to their message. Most historians believe Jesus spent these years in Nazareth, the small village where he grew up. The Gospels refer to him as the son of Joseph, who is described as a craftsman. The Greek word used is tekton, a term that can describe someone who worked with wood, stone, or other building materials. It is therefore widely believed that Jesus learned the same trade and spent much of his early adulthood working alongside his family. Nazareth itself was a modest village in Galilee. Life there was simple. Families worked hard, observed Jewish traditions, attended the synagogue, and lived under Roman rule. There is no reliable historical evidence that Jesus left this region for distant lands during these years. Even so, the silence in the historical record has inspired many theories. Some claim Jesus traveled to India to study with Buddhist teachers. Others suggest he visited Egypt, where famous centers of learning already existed. A few even propose that he lived among the Essenes, a Jewish community known for its strict religious lifestyle. These stories are certainly fascinating. However, they all share one important problem. None of them are supported by contemporary historical evidence. Most of these theories appeared many centuries after Jesus lived. They are based on later writings, local traditions, or speculation rather than documents from the first century. That doesn't automatically make every story impossible, but historians require strong evidence before accepting extraordinary claims. At present, no verified archaeological discovery or first-century document confirms that Jesus traveled to India, Egypt, or any other distant country during these missing years. Today, the majority of biblical scholars and professional historians reach a similar conclusion. The most likely explanation is also the simplest. Jesus probably lived an ordinary life in Nazareth until the beginning of his public ministry. He worked, he learned, he participated in Jewish religious life, and he remained largely unknown outside his local community. This conclusion may sound less dramatic than the popular legends, but it is also the one best supported by the earliest available evidence. The lost years of Jesus remain one of history's most intriguing mysteries, not because we know what happened, but because we know so little. The silence of the historical record has allowed countless theories to emerge, yet the strongest evidence still points toward a quiet life in Nazareth before everything changed. And perhaps that silence carries its own message. Sometimes, history remembers the moments that changed the world, while quietly leaving the ordinary years in between. But this mystery doesn't end here. In our next video, we'll explore one of the most famous theories of all. Did Jesus really travel to India during his missing years? Or is it simply one of history's greatest myths?